Some questions have come up on the chat, and I thought I'd address them. So I'm out here today in the woods, threw my hammock up with my new lines, and yeah, just enjoying myself today. And I wanted to bring Dad Slayer's hammock out as a tutorial viewing kind of thing, and I forgot it. No big deal. I have a handkerchief or a bandana, whichever one you want to call it. So I thought I'd use this. I want to throw a huge disclaimer out there because I am not the person that should be bringing this video, because me and math, we're like that. And this is about hammock anchor points and the stressors on those anchor points. So this is the subject as I understand it in my feeble mind. Okay, so I've fallen a couple of times out of my hammock, and it wasn't because I hung it wrong in a sense. It was because the hardware that I was using failed. And I didn't understand why it failed. I went to Walmart and got a carabiner, the locking carabiners that screwed in, and it was 500 or 550-pound weight capacity. And I thought, I'm under that. I can do that. And it failed. So I didn't understand, if I was under 550 pounds, why that failed. So I bought another one, and it failed. So now there is a quandary. Okay, so what I found out was there's mathematics involved in hammocking. There's mathematics involved in everything. But to be safe, I had to understand it. So basically, different angles put different stress factors on your anchor points in your hammock. Okay, so I already told you I forgot Dad Slayer's hammock. So use what you got. All right, so the angles are what puts the stress factor on your anchor points. And I'd like to show you some demonstrations of that. Okay, so here's my hanky. Put the ridgeline to the front. Okay, so let's say that you're going to hang your hammock like this. Don't know why. Kids might want to swim. I don't know. Yoga, who knows? Nobody's going to hang their hammock like this. Okay, so each one of these points are holding 50% of your weight. So to make this video very personal, I weighed 465 pounds, and I'm down I am down 175, so that puts me at 290. I'm proud of that fact, so no hate. Okay, so at 50%, if these anchor points are directly beside each other, that is 145 pounds that each one of these are holding. Okay, so if we move them out to a 45-degree angle, I'm guessing 45 degrees, that increases the stress on your anchor points to 75%. So that would be for me at 290, 217 and a half pounds on each anchor point. You have to consider that when you're purchasing your lines or making your lines. All right, so if we move it out to a 30-degree angle, the 30-degree angle is the optimate, whatever. It is the perfect, let's go with that. It is the perfect angle that you're looking for because 100% of your weight is on each anchor point. So each anchor point for me is holding 290 pounds. That's what I want. Even if you are hanging precariously, try to get as close to that 30-degree angle as you can. And what is the 30-degree angle? Let's see if I can do this. Pretend that my arm is the tree and the hammock is the hammock. The 30-degree angle is an invisible line that comes from your hammock to the tree. And you want that to be at 30%. That's how you get your angles. Now, your lines have got to be able to hold that stress. Now, if you would hang your hammock like this, that is putting 1,000% on your stressors. So for me, that would be 2,900 pounds. Now, I'm never, ever, probably, going to hang my hammock like this. I don't see a need to do that. The only time I think that you would put this kind of pressure on something is maybe if you were maybe rescuing somebody and using what you got. But you got to remember 1,000%. Will your lines, will your 550 paracord hold 1,000%? And we know how paracord stretches. You know, if you use paracord for hammocking, the stretch factor, in the middle of the night, you're going to have to get up and readjust it. Amstill is what I use. The diameter that I use is 1/8. And I use 1/8 specifically because of the angle factors. Because I know that 1/8 Amstill holds 2,500 pounds. So I know I'm good for what I am doing. Now, for a lighter hammocker, Amstill comes in all kinds of diameters, and you have to check out the specs for what's good for you. Most hammockers are comfortable with the smallest diameter, and that is 7/64. 7/64 is a eight strand braid. It's just how it's made. Now, I think that's the only one that's a 8 strand braid. Everything else is a 12-strand braid. It gives it more strength. So that's something else to consider. Whoopee sling, the saw shackles, and the adjustable ridgeline all are 1/8 amp still on my rig. And I trust that. So I hope this helps. I hope it prevents you from getting hurt, because hammocking is more than just going out and throwing it up between 2 trees. If you're going to be a hammock camper or use the hammock in any kind of extended way. If you're doing it a day use, you're still taking a chance. Just be safe. Be safe. My tree straps are just basically a spool of webbed nylon. I get it from Country Brook Designs, and it runs me about $15 for 30 yards, and all I do is cut it in half. Now that holds 4,200 pounds. I don't put any loops in it because I know the knots, and I don't want to be trusting my sewing skills. How much can thread hold? And you're poking holes in with a needle, so I don't know. Learn the knots. I'm making a correction. That Country Brook Designs for the 1-inch webbing, I know I said it was 30 yards. It is 10 yards, which is 30 feet. That's where I'm getting a 30 at. So when you cut it in half, you have 15 feet tree straps, which I double mine. I put mine in a loop. And that's about the size of the trees here. Okay, guys, I hope this was helpful. Like I said, I don't understand it completely, but that's my basic knowledge. Shug Emery, Sean Emery, Shug. He is the hammock guru. Check out his channel. I'll put a link below. And Derek Hansen has written 2 really well-read books, well-written books, called The Ultimate Hang and The Ultimate Hang 2. He also has a YouTube channel. I will put his link down below. They review different gear. Most of my gear is DIY, as you can see. That's how I roll. I'm cheap. And if I can figure out how to make it, that's what I'm going to do. So I've been doing this a long time, and I'm learning. I'm still learning, because more and more people are getting into it and improving on what we have. So I encourage you to start. You don't have to be camping. Just go out for the day. Throw your hammock up between 2 trees and just take in the sounds. Relax. Breathe a little bit deeper, because it'll do that for you. All right. Like I said, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, I will try to answer it if I can. I appreciate you sticking around. And have a blessed day, because I know I'm going to. See you guys later.